Hey guys, welcome to Unfiltered. We are missing our man Ian Byrne. He's over in, I think he's watching the Ashes over in London. So what's going on, Burner? I've got my man Rennie Matul here. Or should I call you Papali'i? You've been over in Samoa lately?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What happened? You're a chief now, a high chief, which is amazing.
It is a huge honour, Will.
Yeah.
Something that I did for not only my family, but for my father. Being on dialysis and not being able to travel back to Samoa, I was offered the Papali'i title over in.
Tell everyone about it. What does it mean? Because obviously there's a lot of chiefs given out over in Samoa, and everybody sort of claims it. But like, what the one you've got is something special, isn't it?
Well, I didn't understand the magnitude of the title at first. A lot of my cousins said to me, because I felt a bit strange about being an Australian-born Samoan. Yeah. Very proud of my heritage, but I know the politics that comes with the Polynesian side of things, especially with the half caste. So I was a bit nervous to accept it at first. Once the family came over to me and explained in better English than Dad what it actually meant, and the village we were going to, and basically Sa Papali'i, whether we took the title, this is where John Williams, the missionary, came to Samoa, and they spread Christianity through the islands. That's our relation from up here to Sa Papali'i. Our families are connected from about 5-6 generations ago. It's a huge honour. It's a huge title. A lot of responsibility comes with it. Something I'm extremely proud of, and just to keep the legacy of our Samoan heritage going. Being Australian born, I want my kids to.
Do you get that? Do you get to pass it on to your kid?
Well, I'm not too sure of that side of things, but I don't want our Samoan heritage to die with Dad. I want it to continue, and it was a proud moment.
Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah.
Other news, like you've been doing a little bit of work with Fox Sports. How's that been? I mean, we get you on here for every time we can, but like you were in Canada for a little while, then you come back, so you're doing stuff with Fox Sports, which is good. What do you?
Yeah, I love it, Will. I mean, it's hard because I'm on a fortnightly contract to get into any sort of rhythm and any flow. Watching the games again was something that was hard for me to do.
Yeah.
But I got a better understanding of the kids that are coming through now.
But we both broke off the game at the same time, and we just wanted to get away from it. Like, I think you should be very proud. I mean, like Fox Sports is something to really get on top. I mean, the Polynesian, a lot of the brothers, we sort of dominate the whole game these days. Over 50% of the teams are Polynesian or Indigenous, and I just don't see enough faces on Fox Sports. Like, it's good to see your face on there because I'm like, I see Moses Mumbai, but everybody else is pretty much Australian. So I just think they need to diversify a heap. So as long as you're on there and you keep doing what you're doing, I think they should give you a permanent gig because we don't have a voice. Like the Tongans, all the Islander boys don't have a voice because when they start talking about the Polynesian boys, you hear crickets because no one can say shit because they don't know anything about our culture or anything. So I just think if you are Fox Sports, sign this dude up. So
thanks, mate.
Anyway, let's get on to some fucking news. Latrell Mitchell and this piece of shit, Jeff Maddock, calling him a black maggot, saying that someone should break his neck. And I just think it's quite pathetic seeing that it's 2019 and one of our superstars of the game, young, he's got the world at his feet, gets threats like that and just getting called that and saying like he went hunting on the weekend and someone goes, shouldn't you be using a spear, you abo? Like both of us, we're minorities, we're Polynesian, so we feel for Latrell. I just don't understand where society's going with this, and I've got to commend Latrell on how he's held and how he's composed himself, because if that was me, I'd lose my shit.
Mate, the first thing he did right was
shame
that person. I was just on Fox before I came here, and racial vilification was asked, probably the last question. I only had a couple of minutes to answer, and I didn't get the bullet points across. Basically, what I was trying to say is that I was probably a little bit naive of the fact there was so much racism in this country, or if there is or not, because I grew up in such a diverse area where
in
some
Sydney,
of my best
in
mates
the
were
eastern
Aboriginal,
suburbs, very diverse.
Middle Eastern, Chinese, whatever. I've never really heard of it. And then I watched the Adam Goods documentary a few weeks ago, and it was shocking to me. I know in a documentary, like every comment that Alan Jones made or Sam Newman, and it's all polled into in an hour, and it makes it. But it was just, I couldn't believe that it was
the boos every game.
I just couldn't believe that it was out there and it existed, and I felt almost bad for not paying more attention to it.
So do I.
And then even with the Greg Inglis situation about a year ago, I didn't pay enough attention to it. And it's just now Latrell, and you think, enough's enough.
What happens? Like
you're not born with racism.
No.
It's not a gene in your body that in your DNA that this is my baby, he's got racism.
Yeah,
no,
he doesn't like you because you're black. Can you get away from him when you're 6 months old?
A product of your environment. Who's bringing up these people?
Yeah.
The parents need to be accountable. The people that hang around need to be accountable.
Yep.
These people need to be vilified and dragged through the dirt because what they're doing, and just look, everyone says, we need to educate these people. No.
It's 2019,
there's
educate
enough
yourself.
education out there on this. These people need to be put on show, put out there, and showcased for who they are. They're just pieces of shit.
It's not the 70s. It's not the 60s, and 70s where they needed education, all that sort of stuff, and all the Aboriginals and first people of every sort of Indigenous land. They've copped that for fucking years. Yeah. Enough's enough. It's 2019. It's like, drag this little prick through the mud. Don't let him go to any fucking games for the rest of his life. Him or Josh McGuire, Jack Davis, that other little prick. They shouldn't be allowed near any sporting oval, I reckon. Like, they shouldn't go near anything. I just think the NRL, AFL, everybody needs to make a stance because it's just getting ridiculous how they can just get on social media and all this kind of stuff. And I just think social media is the problem. It gives everybody their freedom of speech and everything like that, but this is the ugly side of it.
Look at the good side of it is what Latrell can do
for his people.
Not only for himself and for people that are racist. He can really use his platform as a powerful source to get his point across, which he is already. Yeah. And everyone says, get off social media, turn your phones off. No, use it.
Just ignore it. No, don't ignore
it. Because use this to your strength. Social media isn't going away. We have to evolve with the social media and put a positive message out with it.
The way he handled it.
Well, it's bang on how the way he handled it. Like, so he should have done that. Screenshot it.
How would you have handled it?
I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, and
I've seen you.
I DM this little prick.
Yeah, but that's exactly the bite they're looking for.
Well, I slid into your DM, so just read it. It's pretty positive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's got to stop.
I think social media, I think what should happen is everybody, how you get that blue tick and you're verified? Yep. I think everybody should get a blue tick.
Right.
So you know who these pricks are. Mm-hmm. So when they do come out, they can't shut their account down. Yep. They have all your details, where you live, what your number is, your email, everything, so they can fucking get hold of you.
Oh, exactly.
I think they should. And then for you're a young kid.
You're going to limit you, like from an applications point of view, you're going to limit your users.
I know, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
but I mean, like Twitter, social media, like Instagram, you should all get a blue tick because when shit like this goes down, and this is nothing compared to what's happening in the rest of the world, and you make everybody accountable for what they've done, I think you'll see a different tone. Well, but obviously, social media is a powerful thing with celebrities and all that sort of shit, and it'll never ever happen. But I think that's a good way to make everybody accountable. If you go, you have a blue tick, give me an email, give me your credit card, or whatever. If you fuck up on, just say, that happens to this guy. He gets found out, and just say he's a 16-year-old kid.
Yep.
Your parents give their credit card or whatever, and he gets fined like $1,000. So it hits your parents. So your parents need to educate, because this kid is not educated. No. Jeff and Jack are not educated.
It's a broad conversation, Will. We could probably talk forever on this.
Yeah, but it's good. It just needs to be brought up because, like,
Latrell
did the right thing. Another thing, like Josh McGuire, death threats. You know what I mean? Like, come on. All he did was rub a couple of blokes. I mean, he did it. I mean, it looked wrong, but I think he was going to get. Was that against Fafita Jr., an ex-teammate? It was just a niggling game.
Yeah.
Back, we'll regress a little bit. They should be allowed to punch on because that would never have happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't do that rule. And Lodge and Maguire would have punched on in the first 5 minutes. No more niggles.
Yeah.
But the death threats that he's been getting is a fucking joke, and I just think that is pathetic. Especially with, I mean, like, what did he do? They didn't say that he eye-gouged someone. He had his hand all over his face. I think it's a dirty thing to do, but like death threats, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I can't comment too much. I haven't read any of the quotes or anything like that.
So, obviously, this one death threats. Is that enough or what? Like,
yeah, on both.
You played with Josh McGuire.
I play with Josh. He plays dirty and he plays tough, and he's probably one of the first players you want in the trenches. Did an outstanding job for Samoa. I'm sure he'll play for Samoa again one day, but no one needs death threats. Like, these are family people. They got
two kids. I think his missus come out and said, look, this guy's a father, he's a husband, he's a football player of all. Like, he's all these other things. Yeah. He's an ambassador for the game and everything like that. But, like, you give him death threats over just, I mean, I know it's not part of the game, eye gouging that. Mark Carroll's, like, jumping on the fire, like adding fuel, saying, I think his thing was, you know, to Mal Meninga, don't pick him in the Australian side because he's a grub. The amount of grubs that have played for Australia, and especially coming from Spud. Spud played the game aggressive and fair. He didn't eye gouge or anything like that, but like that's a few stones there, Spud. And I just think he didn't really need that. You know, imagine if he doesn't get picked in the Aussie team now. Well, it's just because of the bullshit that Spud just made up. There's no need for that. Well,
I mean, that's Spud. You know, Spud.
And then what? Aiden Blake, Fanua Blake said, "Does this guy ever shut his fucking mouth?" This is quotes. These are quotes. Does this guy ever shut his fucking mouth? Say it to his face. Yeah. I mean, like, these young kids are sick of this shit. Yeah. The young kids are sick of all these old dinosaurs, ex-players, played in the 90s, early 2000s, hammering them. Yeah, look, do you know what I mean? That's just, I mean, I know it's part of the game, but sometimes when you get personally attacked, like I was in a position like that. MG was coming at me massive in the mid-2000s, and I went at him. But, like, it's just like, maybe the players just need to go, you know what? Like Fanua Blake did, just went straight at Spud and said, shut your mouth. Like, I did it to MG, and we're mates now, but, like, through that whole 2000 era, I was like, damn, this prick won't back off. You know, like, then once it gets personal, that's when players, you can bag my game, Ren. Yep. I can bag your game if I'm critiquing it or whatever, but if you personally attack me, I'll come for your neck. And that's what most players are like. We're men that play this game.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, that's Spud's job to have an opinion on the game. He's paid.
But don't call for a rep jersey, man.
Yeah,
Come
but
on.
He's paid to have an opinion, right? And he's got the reaction he wanted. Yeah. You know, people are talking about it. He's doing his job. I'm all for Fanua Blake calling him out. On the flip side of it, we've got to have thick skin in this situation because people are going to be more and more aggressive when they get a bite, right? So people are going to write more and more crap on your social media. It's about acknowledging what's being said, but not entertaining it. Yeah. Entertain it, you know, shame these people, but don't let it get to you personally, which is hard. You know, I took a lot to heart when people said about me. So,
but it's only if you respect the person.
Yeah, I mean,
like, look, Spud's a very respected person. If he comes at you,
I'm just talking about players in general. When people write stuff on their social media, acknowledge it. Don't buy into it personally. Shame them. Move on.
Do you think that's a generational thing? Do you think that's these young kids that are 18 to 25? They take shit to heart. They're very sensitive.
Yeah.
Do you think that?
That's another conversation.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, I'm just going to regress a little bit and just go through. Just say recruitment before you even get into the NRL. I think it's very important for especially when you're in high school. These kids, like, just say David Fafita and all these kids, Payne Haas, they've all come through a system in the last 2 or 3 years they've been in high school. And I'd like to think that, you know, your head coach has gone and recruited them. Yeah. I think they all should get psych evaluated at about 15, 16 and just keep tabs on them their whole schooling. So when they do get to the NRL, like at 18 or 19, these guys are polished human beings. So they're getting treated, you know, from 15, 16, 17, where a lot of players, you know, we come from diverse backgrounds. It's very multicultural. Some people have no money, alcohol, drugs all through their family, lower socioeconomic backgrounds, and then you can't say that doesn't take part in when you get to first grade. You know, when you're 18, 19, your coach don't even give a shit about you, but just all he wants to do, throw you in first grade, use you, and then kick you back out.
So what you're saying is basically having a criteria that
they
need to meet, the individual needs to meet to play NRL. Sort of kind of like the NFL do.
Yes,
they have something similar. Look, I'm all for it. Anything, you know, to help our game improve and make young men develop a little bit faster. Like, their brains haven't even developed till they're 25, 26. Exactly. I didn't know how to make a decision until I was about 30. You know,
we're expecting these kids now at 18, 19 to be proper human beings. And that's what I'm saying. This is where I go. I'm only sort of saying this now because of the pre-season and the off-season that we did have. Yeah. It ruined the game for 10 years.
So what if a kid is really talented, has a tough upbringing, gets into a system from 16 to 19, and then he doesn't fit the criteria of NRL? What do we do with those ones?
Well, I think I think it's our job to make him fit. You know what I mean? Like to educate him and don't play him until he meets the requirements.
Yeah, that's
you know,
fair.
like
That's
just
a fair point.
don't make
Don't
him play.
let
So
him
if you're
play.
doing this, this, and this, you're drinking like this, you're going out, you've got this circle of friends and everything like that, you're not getting played.
Yeah.
So when you get told that, and someone takes your dream away from you, when you're taking no accountability for what you're doing, you just your God-given right is to play for Australian NRL. That gets taken away from you. You just pump the brakes real quick on your lifestyle.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot more going into the young players these days. There is. They're getting better.
There is,
but it's
only when you're in the NRL.
It's only when well, I mean, I like it. I'm all for it. I
just think the NRL, we should go back, and I think clubs,
even with education, you need to have a certain standard of education. That might be already in place.
Well, have a look. The last 10 years, we were in the game. Whatever the shit that the RLPA and the NRL was serving us didn't work. Did it? Because look what the shit that's happened just then. Like in this last preseason, these are kids that are 25, 26 years old doing this shit.
Yeah.
So they're not listening. So change the criteria. We need to go back to start when it starts at like 14 or 15. I just think it's very important.
Given
given what happened, it was losing us money.
I don't get. Just to go off track a little bit, but the whole taking photos of each other, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
No.
Like, regardless if something is a joke or not, I'm not going back to the video. It's a simple, like what Sean Lane's going through at the moment, for example. I've heard that it was a photo was a joke. It was just a joke, and it's gone horribly wrong. Someone's leaked the photo, someone close to him. They're the things I don't get. You know, just put your phones away. You don't need to. That's that tribal mentality or that tribalism. You know, trying to
impress your mate,
trying to be accepted by you. You're accepted. You're a football player. You're within the group.
You're in
you don't
there.
need to show me a photo of you doing something stupid to be accepted amongst us as friends.
I can't believe it. I mean, like this brings up Mad Monday. I mean, Paul Kent was saying we need to get rid of it. I'm just like, well, I don't think it's ever going to get rid of. I mean, even if the coach goes, all right, boys, you can't drink on Monday. All of a sudden, 15, 20 blokes turn up at a pub on Monday.
So what's the definition of Mad Monday? Is it dressing up on a Monday?
I think there's a couple of lessons. We've been on some Mad Mondays.
What do you call it if everyone gets together and has a drink as a team?
This is just a drink.
Just a drink.
It's the dress up.
It's the dress up. That's why they call it Mad Monday. So do you get rid of the dress up?
People don't understand. I mean, like, what are you, 9 or 10 months training and just going crazy? Yeah, look, I get it. Look, it's killed the game the last couple of years. I mean, I just think my little lessons here, like if you go to, like, what happens when players and teams turn up to Mad Monday and they brush the media straight away? What's the media going to do? They're going to hang in the bushes. They're going to see, oh, these pricks don't want to do the interview. We're going to get you later.
Yep.
Hence the Bulldogs last year. Didn't want to do any interviews. So do your interviews ASAP, as soon as you get there. I don't give a shit, because they're going to hang around. But as soon as you do the interviews, we know the media. They'll just piss off. They've got their job. They've got their thing for things. See you later. You've got to lock it down and make sure it's private. Don't go in public. Fine should be extreme, and dress up should be optional.
The dress up should. Look, you got to
lock it down. It's gone are the days where we can go to Belmore Pub or East Hills Pub or wherever we want to go, and people are going, oh, good on you, mate. I'm dressed like the Flash,
like
and you're
you
look like a dickhead.
Have another beer.
No worries. The RSA is ridiculous. It needs to be.
You need to evolve with the expectations of society. Right? What if the leaders ever, instead of putting it back on the NRL or the clubs, what if the leaders, like the RLPA, the players that are currently playing, got together and made a decision? What if Cameron Smith came out and said, no more Mad Monday? I think the majority of players would go, Cam Smith said no Mad Monday, I'm not having a Mad Monday. Instead of putting on putting it towards the authority of the NRL or a club, what if your peer, or what do you call them? What if Cam Smith came out, or Cooper Cronk, and they got together and said, boys, as a group, you know, this is destroying our image. We're not going to get as much money in the next CBA.
I think it is. If you look at it, I mean, it's all right for us. We're sitting in our beautiful marble houses. And
it's just like that's where the leaders of our game can step up.
Well, I'm just saying that I'm there. I'm just coming from a player's point of view. That you'd be like, oh no, don't fuck Mad Monday. Don't get rid of Mad Monday. We all loved it, but I'm saying it's affecting the bottom dollar of the NRL. So once it does that, then I can understand why Paul Kent and that's going. Something needs to change. I think they just need to tinker with a few little things.
Just don't dress up and...
Yeah, just don't dress up. Do your media. Take some accountability. This fine should be massive if you do stuff up. They should have all these rules in place in your club. And if you stuff up on any of them, the fines are drastic. You know, you're talking 50 grand fines, you know. You don't just fine them, you know, $1,000 or anything like that. But I'm saying that's how much it means to the club.
Yeah, it does.
You're going to lose major sponsors, which are worth $500 to $1 million. With these one stuff up, is that one person worth it all?
Well, I'm just glad I played.
I'm glad we just got away with a lot of shit on Mad Monday, and we had the funnest time ever. Sorry, new recruits. Unlucky ills. Anyway, another topic that we're talking about. Top 6. What are your thoughts? Do you reckon we play too many games?
We spoke today in the car, and I'm kind of bored. You know, I'm
bored. I'm bored at this time. I want semi-final football.
I want semis. You know, you got teams fighting for 7 and 8 that have had more losses than wins. Yeah. You've got a team like South who deserve to be in the top 4. They're slipping because they've had injury. They're just falling off the wagon a bit. Manly's fighting for that 4th spot. I just think enough was done after maybe 20 rounds, 22 rounds. 7 and 8 spot. They have a losing record. Maybe 6 has. 6th as well.
Do you know what I mean? Sure. I just think, and I know it's never going to happen, but I think people should be voicing it as well. I mean, if they go down to 22 games, I mean, I know whatever happens in our next CBA will be very important. How many games? Because obviously
the last TV rights, correct?
The last CBA was all about TV rights. We signed the biggest TV rights. It's like
so we basically $3.2 billion.
Say you have to play these games. These are the games that you have to play. For that money. Okay. Salary cap goes up, all this kind of stuff. We need to get Clint Newton on here so he can run it by us. And I think he'll explain it properly. So I'm paraphrasing here, and I just think the next CBA, it'll cost the game, it'll cost us money.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like if we're going to bring it down to 20 games, but I think if we bring it down to 20 games, money?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Look, millions.
Let's say, look, it's hard to. We're not really informed with what we're talking about right now, but.
Informed enough.
But as a player and as a fan, I think I've just seen enough footy that I want to go into the semis. I want to see a winner. I want to see a result. Now I'm just seeing a little bit of toiling for 7th and 8th. Get rid of that for starters.
Yeah.
Right.
Top 6 would be good. Top 6 would be unreal. Because then I think top 6, bring the games down. Every single game will be worth it. These games now, I mean, like for the Titans and the Dogs, you just like, imagine if you do it, blow your ACL out, which is going to happen. To one of these bottom 4 sides, someone's going to cop a chronic, a major injury. When it's like, I mean, 22 games may be enough. I think you would end it now. I think it's perfect to end it now. We've got 4 more games. Yeah. Right now is the perfect time. Yep. I know it's not going to have them just speaking like out loud, but I just think it's.
Then you could probably bring your test footy in and
test football
Pacific
can come
Nations. I don't know.
I think in the middle of it, we can just maybe have a month of rep football.
Yeah, I
pretty much like
reps.
Maybe take the blueprint off the Six Nations, what they do in the Northern Hemisphere with the rugby. They have the Six Nations over 6 weeks.
Yep.
They come in and out of their teams. They've got to play that, and it goes over that long, and then it's over.
No, I like my rep footy at the
I
end
love
of
the
the
rep
season.
footy.
I would prefer it at the end of the season. I like my origin.
Then you get your players whinging. I mean, I've been in the reps. I was in the rep scene for about 8 years, and you find yourself as a senior playing, oh, we're playing too much. You're playing too much. You know what I mean? Like you guys like Teddy and all these guys. The next 3 or 4 years, you're going to be burnt out. Not everyone's Cameron Smith. Not everyone's JT.
Yeah.
Cooper Cronk.
But if you cut it back to 22 rounds,
then I suppose we'll be done by what? September, late September.
Late September, early October, and it puts the players get rejuvenated when they get put in a rep environment. They've got new teammates. They get, all of a sudden those cuts and knocks and bruises aren't as sore as they are most mornings because you're in a new environment and you can drag it out. For that Six Nations through September. Or halfway through September through to November, you know what I mean? And
I'm more worried about the Origin players, but I just think Origin is a whole different kettle of fish. I just think it should stand alone. That's why I'm more saying like with the Six Nations. I mean, I think not Six Nations, but Origin stand alone on a Sunday, and then just say like there's a 4 nations: New Zealand, Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, played over a month or 5 weeks, and Origin can fit in every 10 days. There's an Origin on a Sunday or something like that, and they can fit around that standalone. I know it's all traditional on Wednesday and shit, but like fuck it, just change it. It's not hard. And then they can play the 4 nations around there, and like Papua New Guinea can play someone else. They might bring City Country back, so everybody's involved in some sort of game. And if you're not involved, unlucky, get better. And that'll make you want to improve to get into those rep sides, to play for Samoa, Tonga, New Zealand, Fiji, New Guinea, New South Wales, Queensland. You're going to take up a lot of rosters there.
Yeah.
So I just think they could maybe tinker with it just
Something
a
that needs
little
to be-
bit.
it can
Something
be
to think
looked at,
about. I just think, I mean, this is it's not really broken, but I just think it can be better.
Food for thought, Will.
Yes. Listen to me, Todd. Jesus Christ, I've got some good ideas. Anyway, let's talk some footy. Tonight, I think in about, what is it? Half hour. We've got the Eagles and Tigers. Who do you reckon?
Eagles, Tigers. I think at Lotto Land, coming off the loss against the Warriors, I think they'll be 16 plus. They'll be too strong.
So the Eagles, West Tigers are 375. Then they've got Robbie Farah, Moses.
Moses.
I mean, Robbie, if it's Robbie's last game last week, good career, brother. Well done. And that sucks. But you can't get, the send-off like Ray Price. The Eagles are $1.26 at Lotto Land. They're going to be hard to beat, man. I think they'll be pissed off. Remember, did you watch the game last week against the Warriors? The Warriors blew them off the park.
Yeah.
They defended their ass off. They got on the Trebojevic, DCE. They handled their back rolls. Sirenen's out.
Sirenen's out.
They handled Jakey Trebojevic. They've been unbelievable. If you pick Sirenen on form now, you're picking him in the Aussie side.
Yeah.
He's a right side back rower.
Joel Thompson has been doing a great job at left back row as well. I think they've been great. They fly under the radar, them too, and so does Des. Des likes
They've got a good balance, man.
They do have a good balance.
Like Fanua Blake and Tapau. Then you got Coruscant.
Outstanding year. Coruscant and the young kid.
Fainu off the bench. I think he's going to be a starter next year. I think Coruscant might be signing with the Dogs.
Get him the
I'm
Dogs.
pretty sure. I think
Dylan Walker,
Dylan Walker's been playing great.
If they can get a steady 5'8", they've got it.
Yeah.
But the Trebojevic brothers, how good are they?
Man, they've just got a really well-balanced side, but they can't afford any injuries because they don't have any depth.
No. And you think they've overachieved this year? Or they're
massively.
Right
I think they have. I think around. I thought they would be around about 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
But then I look at the way that they played and the superstars that they got in the right position. Then I'm like, yeah, you're right where I think you should be.
Yeah.
Last week they're pushing for that game, man. I mean, like if they drop this one, could drop them down to 6. The Eagles could jump them. Anyway, tomorrow, which would be a blockbuster. Titans and Eels.
Oh God.
Titans are so low. I feel so sorry for them. I think what are you playing for? We've been in position like this when we're coming last. What were we playing for? Mad Monday?
Yeah.
What are we? What were we doing? We're figuring out what we're going to wear. And you don't try and think that these players aren't thinking that. It's just like, don't get injured. Let's just get to Mad Monday and get the fuck out of Australia.
We've already got 1 foot on the plane to Bali. But
yeah,
that's the two different mentalities of Titans and someone like the Dogs, right? They've gone into the back end of the year. They know they can't make the semis and we're never a chance. They've rolled teams in the last 6 weeks. I think they won 4 out of the last 5, maybe. And then you've got the Titans lose a coach and then their manhood pretty much gets questioned.
Yeah.
And they haven't turned up.
Unbelievable.
They do have a decent roster. And I do feel sorry for him because I've been in that position with the harder you try, the worse you get.
You drop Ash Taylor again? He needs to play himself out of form.
Look, it's just I don't
feel sorry for that kid, man.
I feel sorry for all of them. Look. I honestly would like to believe that they're putting in the hard work at training. It's just results aren't going their way. It becomes a habit.
The only thing that a lot of people are real harsh on them is because of the squad that they've got. People are expecting them to make a top 8 squad. Their forward pack have all played rep football. I mean, they've had a couple of injuries, which Jairo was a massive loss. But most of them, and Ryan James, they've all played some rep football. Pete's has played New South Wales.
Yeah.
Jared Wallace has played for Queensland. I think they're back rowers. I think they're just underachieved. And some of the floggings that they've copped, it's not good. And the Eels, on the other hand, haven't got a rep player, but they're coming 5th or 6th.
They've turned the season.
They've been outstanding. So Brad Arthur was under the pump.
And Moses, the half.
I got to wrap him again. I wrapped him last week.
His form is just...
They put Cooper Cronk and Moses this year. I mean, Cooper Cronk's 38, so he's obviously on a decline and in a great side. But his stats versus Cooper Cronk's, he shits on him. Like, it's ridiculous. And I just think it's great. It's great for him.
It's great. Like, he was...
Even if you compare someone to Cooper Cronk, who is obviously regressed in all these numbers and everything, but if you are beating him, he's still playing some great football.
Yeah, well, the pressure was on him this year for the Eels to do well. Did they get wooden spoon last year?
The Eels? So they got the wooden spoon.
They got wooden spoon. So a lot of rode on Moses' shoulders. He didn't have he had an all right start to the season, then he went through this up and down patch, well, the whole side did. But the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, have you seen his kicking game?
Oh, he's outstanding.
He's got it on a string.
I like all the Cleary talk saying he's the next big thing. I don't think he ties Moses' boots up. I mean, I think Cleary had an outstanding game leading into that game. Anyway, the Broncos. Who you got? Titans or Eels?
Eels.
3:30 the Titans up there. I'm going for the upset. Get on it. Broncos and Panthers. Speaking of Cleary, I reckon he played outstanding last week. That was one of his best games.
Yep.
He picked his times when to run. He scored those tries. He was pretty much untouched. At Suncorp, the Broncos are paying $1.68, Panthers $2.15. Who you got? The Broncos are coming.
I think Penrith. I think they're more desperate. They're probably showing a bit more desire. I thought last week's game, Broncos and Cowboys, was very lackluster.
It was one of the worst games I've ever seen, Ren.
It was pretty bad.
We sat there and watched it, and we wanted to turn it on. It was like Broncos dropped so many.
I know how hot it is up there.
I know it gets slippery, but we are they're pros. They get paid professional money.
When you're dropping the ball and it's there, you've got to ask questions.
Man, you've got to just think, what the
attention to detail
fuck are you doing? I mean, like I'm paying a bloke $500,000, and he can't catch a ball. When it's here, I can understand if it's thrown behind you or something like that. It was just pathetic.
The skill level was bad. I mean,
I think the Panthers showed me last week when Cronulla was red hot. It's come off a massive win, and they beat the shit out of Cronulla. I mean, they had a couple of little injuries. Fafita was injured. Pride come off in the first 5 minutes, but no Moylan. But I think the Panthers can go on a little bit of a run here. They get Maloney back, which would be great for them. But I just think. I don't know. I'm so confident in the Broncos forward pack, but then they've let me down so many times. So I'm going to go the Panthers.
Yeah, I'll go Panthers as well.
All right, this will be a cracker of a game. This one Saturday, up at McDonald's Jones Stadium, aka Marathon.
Is it the old Marathon?
Yeah. Knights versus Cowboys. Now, Knights have been. I love Newcastle. I love all the boys up there, and I've just been so disappointed. I mean, having coffee with Joey, Bedsy, all these blokes. It's ridiculous what's happening up there.
Given the roster they've built over the last 5 years, and I'm not trying to throw Nathan Brown under the bus or anything
Throw
like
him
that.
under.
No, I think, the players need to be held accountable to somewhat. Instead of throwing coaches under the bus, let's look at what they need to do. What does Nathan maybe need to change? Because he's going to stay there for another year, a couple of years, and he'll probably be under a lot of pressure next year to get results. How do you get your players to buy into a system that you're trying to win a competition with? You've got the players. You're a one-town team.
Yeah.
You got all the support. You got a stadium.
Best setup. They've got one of the best setups.
You got a great setup. Why aren't you winning games? That's
I don't know.
Question you got to ask.
I think the halves. What is it? I think they need a 5'8". Mason Lino's not really at first grader. Put too much pressure on Clemmer. But look at their forward pack. You got Clemmer, Watson, Side. They need a 9. Next year they'll have that little Brayley kid, which is a good player. Saifidi, there's your Origin props. Lachlan Fitzgibbon can be handy. Mitch Barnett's a great worker. And Josh King, I've never heard of him. But he's going against Taumalolo.
There's a chink in their spine.
Jake,
If the 9 needs addressing and they got that young Jaden Brayley, he's a quality 9 and everything. They touch the ball.
What are we waiting on next year?
Are we? That's the person that you wait that has more control of the ball than any other person on the field.
Need a 5'8".
He served. They did.
I think at the start, Brownie fucked up by putting Ponga at 5'8". I'm just going to go back to that. They played 4. I think he played maybe 2 or 3 games.
Like he had to try something, and it's more evident now that he's gone back to fullback that they do need a 5'8". They try to put Connor Watson at fullback and experiment with Caleb because you want to
see what he's got.
You want to see what he's
got. I think he was just too late. Lockie did that. He played 10 years at fullback, but 10 years, not 2.
Eventually, he'll end up in the
100%, but don't rush him in there now. I was against it from the start.
Right now, I want to see him with as much room.
So Ponga, let's go back to Ponga. 1.5 mil he's asking for. A lot of greats, Freddie, Joey, have all said, look, and I agree with him to some sort of point. I just think the market dictates that he does get 1.5. I think he'll get around that.
Yep.
16% of the salary cap it is. Does he deserve that? But in saying that, when Andrew Johns and Freddie played, they had such a massive influence on the game. When Joey played good, the Knights won. When Freddie killed it, the Roosters won. Do you know what I mean? So that's the sort of thing that they're talking about. When you demand that sort of money, when Lockie played good, Brisbane won. Like these guys, these are the top upper echelon immortal players that we're talking about. And I know it's a money thing and everybody gets rated on their money and what they're talking about. And I just think he will earn that money in time. And if he does get it now, I don't care. All for him.
The risk we take as a game is losing him to rugby union.
That's what I think as
well. No ifs or buts. They earn more money than rugby league players. They get paid to play Super Rugby and then they get paid to play Test football. There's a lot of money at stake here. The All Blacks would snap him up. The Wallabies would take him straight away. And he'd earn 1.5 plus.
You're talking you're talking international endorsements then?
We can't always go back and look at the past of what these greats did for the game. The game's changed.
The game has changed.
Whether you like it or not, you can't be as
every time I played good, we won.
You can't be as dominant on a game as well. Cameron Smith can. He has a lot of
yeah.
as you could 10,
I know.
15
in the
years
2000s.
ago.
Yep.
1 to 17 are athletes.
Yeah, I agree.
Pure athletes.
I agree.
Maybe 1 to
and he's still
maybe
carving
1
up.
to 11, 12 when we played were athletes. You
Yeah.
might have had 5 just hanging on. Probably wouldn't make a first grade team today. Would you agree?
100%. I'm with you.
So, you know, I still think he's worth that.
I think he's worth that. At the moment,
I'd pay on
if
potential as well.
If you go on just say, oh, what sort of influence does he have? As I said, not many people can. I think Teddy is the only one influencing games now, and I think Teddy should be the highest paid player.
What kind of influence does he have
in Newcastle
outside of the game?
I agree. Him as a role, it's a whole package, isn't it? What you're paying for. I just think what he does on the field is outstanding.
It's the future of our game.
Yeah, he's the face. He does everything right. He's a good-looking kid. He's got the whole world at his feet. We don't want. That's my thing. I don't want to lose him to fucking rugby.
No.
Like the All Blacks are chasing him. He's eligible for the All Blacks. He's eligible for the Wallabies. Like if he just plays, we'll just say 2 or 3 years here, gets a deal. I'm scared of the next deal when he's 25 and in his prime.
Well, I mean, he's still got another year on his contract.
You're looking for a 6-year deal. Just tie him up till he's at least 27, 28. Then you don't even think about union. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think we can just sort of get over the fact that you were great in your day, and like you influence games. But as you just said, you don't influence games. Hardly anybody does now.
No.
If you did, you just pay Cameron Smith $5 million a year. And the refs. Anyway, get into the next game, 5:30 game. Storm versus the Raiders. Raiders are paying $2.90, $1.40 down there on a Saturday night. 5:30 game, be slippery, miserable, freezing cold, and Melbourne weather straight at you. But Canberra's ready for that shit. They're from
Where
Canberra.
they play?
Melbourne.
So it's going to be miserable, cold, rainy. What's Canberra like?
That's what I just said. You didn't hear what I just said. I said Canberra's used to that shit. That's the summer for them. That's summer for them. That's summer. So, yeah.
You know what? I think Melbourne are obviously they're the benchmark. They're too good.
What's so good about Melbourne?
Oh, they're just everyone.
Let's talk about.
Everyone knows their role in that team to a T.
Every
ruck, every play of the ball, everyone knows their role. They know where to be on the field, what position to get in, who are they running a decoy for, who are they supporting in the, who are they going to hold up in defence, who are they going to tackle in defence, who's going to chop the legs. They're just like that, clockwork, boom, boom, boom.
And we were watching on the weekend, and I think I've seen a play the ball that was about 8 seconds.
I couldn't believe it. I was watching it on
I was like, are you going to penalise?
I don't know
ref?
if because I was a little bit hungover and I was watching the game, but I was thinking, geez, this is a long play. The
no, it was
And I started paying
long.
attention, thinking, hang on, you could.
But you know what it is? They're so consistent. They're so consistent in what they do, and then the refs, they're
doing it all year. Are we paying
They've been
attention
doing it for
now?
They've been doing it for 10 years.
Now they're 6 points clear. We're like, oh,
just let them slide.
Well, I mean,
and the Storm played some pretty good football against the Rabbits, but the Rabbits sort of had them. They were pretty even with them, neck and neck for about 65 minutes.
Do you think Canberra
and then
can
Munster?
Win the comp? Do you think Canberra can? Munster, unbelievable.
Munster's ridiculous. I love him. I love him.
Like, I would love to have a beer with you, Cameron, if you're around.
What are you saying?
Canberra, do you think they can win it?
If BJ Leilua comes back and gets about 3 games under his belt, because they miss that right side.
Yep.
They're dangerous, but I think Bateman's been playing a little bit of centre. He's a right side back row. You've got Elliott Whitehead on the other hand. We just need Bateman in that back row spot. And then their whole defence changes. And I just think he does so much dirty work, and he's such a great player.
It's such a great game for them at this time of the year.
Yeah. This will be test. This is a test. I think they passed the test last week. They were in it against the Roosters.
But how much confidence do you take into the semi-finals if you do?
You do, because it's a top 4 team. If they finish 4th, they won't be scared if they take on the Storm.
I think they lack something. Canberra defensively, they're outstanding. They're aggressive.
They relied on their offloads.
They back their scramble defence as well. That's one thing I don't like about South is that they're a little bit passive, whereas they're in your face, and then they'll back their scramble defence to make a decision. They'll say, look, challenge us. You're not coming through us. You're going to go around us. I like that kind of defence.
Papali, Soliola, man, they've just been animals. Hodgson, he's the best front row in the game.
He's having a great year. 58% possession, I think they had last week against the Roosters. They didn't capitalise.
And they only scored off some really, some offload, a late offload, and that's my worry. They didn't score a clear try, which they broke the line and draw, all that kind of stuff.
That's where BJ comes into play with his offloads.
But BJ can score.
Second phase.
You're getting 10 metres out from the line, early ball. He's going to steamroll you.
So if they're lacking in that structural play, maybe in the halves aren't as creative as other halves, that off-the-cuff offload, one-on-one with BJ, 3 games in, that's the last piece of the puzzle for Canberra, I think, to win the comp.
So do you reckon they can win this game?
I think Melbourne will win down there, but they'll be tested.
I think Melbourne's due for a loss. I'm going to go the Raiders. I think they'll get a lot of... I think BJ might play this week.
Yeah.
And if he does, I think. I mean, I played. Yeah, we've missed you, buddy.
Good on you, mate.
I just think. I don't know. Every time I played the Storm when we were at the Knights, BJ carved the hell out of him, man. Next game, Bulldogs and Rabbits. Rabbits and Bulldogs. That ANZ. It's not really a home game to anyone. Just sucks out there. Who do you reckon?
They'll test the Rabbits. I don't think they've been in great form at all. I've been really critical of their
What do you reckon the problem is with South? I mean, no Burgess, no George Burgess.
I just feel like they're a little bit unfit. I don't know if they're maybe carrying too many injuries and they've had to rest too many players during the week. And I know I'm going for South. I'm a South supporter. I'm a Bulldog supporter as well. But John Sutton being his last year, congrats Sutton on an amazing career.
Unbelievable Sutton.
There's something I'm not getting from him, and it's just like I'm starting to get angry at the television. I've never really cared that much, but I'm thinking, why?
Early ball to Cody Walker.
Why are you doing that? Like, why is passive here? Just get up in their face. There's something. It feels like they're just kind of limping into the semis. They're waiting for Sam to come back. They're waiting for George to come back. Yeah. I know Wayne will get them up, but if they don't show me something this week, they're in trouble. They're in trouble of being finishing in the top 4.
The 7 for them, Reynolds, he holds the key. I'm not sure if he really knows what sort of energy he has in that team. He's their little general. If he plays well, he was like our Shifty, Sherwin. The Shifty, when Shifty played good, we won.
Yep.
So when he plays well, all I've been seeing, when he plays well, they win. That 2014 team, he was outstanding. He played Origin that year, I think. And that was one of his best years. He looked fit. Now he doesn't look that fit.
They really need to address their starts of the game. The last 2 weeks, they've really fallen behind. They're playing catch-up.
I think Sam will come back with some vengeance. He'll be angry, but he'll be.
Can't rely on Sam.
I know that, but he holds the energy in the forwards, and the little 7 holds the energy out there. All the rest of the backs, they're capable. Cody Walker is the most skillful player in that team. Give him early ball. Yep. Ethan Lowe's starting on that left edge. Yep. Start playing some decent football. Cody Walker, every time he touches the ball, something happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? All the time on that left edge. It's been like that for two or 3 years, so he's been outstanding.
I'd like the middle forwards to step up a little bit more. Besides Damien Cook and Cameron Murray, they're not the biggest guys, and they're getting through a shitload of work. I want Totola. I want the other kids that come off the bench. I just want them to just lift the team a bit. Come shooting out of the line. Be aggressive.
You know why Cook's been nullified? Because nobody is skiddling everyone. When Sam Burgess, Tom Burgess and George get the ball, blokes go flying out of the way. Cook goes into another dimension. Yep. He comes out this way, he goes back that way. You've got Cody hitting holes on this side. You've got the other back row on this side, Sam on this side. Everybody goes off Cook. Yep. But if you slow that ruck down like Melbourne did, Cook can't do anything.
Well, Cookie's the key to them winning.
He is, but you need quick play the balls for Cook to do anything.
As well, but you need quick play the balls. As soon as Queensland did it to Cookie in the first game. Once they took the middle wrestle and slowed that ruck down, Cookie's game was gone. Yeah. He's so important to that team.
Yeah. I think
South will win, but I think they're going to be up against it. It'll be a hard.
Yeah, 350 for the Bulldogs.
That's a good bet.
That's a good bet. I think they've been going good. I think I'm going to go the Dogs.
Not that I gamble.
1 to 12. 1 to 12. I think it's paying about $5. I don't gamble either. Yeah. Roosters Warriors.
Sports bet.
Roosters Warriors. $1.17 and Warriors are $5. It's here. I'm going to go with the Roosters quickly.
I'm not sure if Boyd or Takiaho.
I think Boyd's back. I'm not sure. I think Takiaho might have a couple more weeks. He's important. They've been playing some great football considering they haven't had 2 of their starters and Hargraves. That's the only team that I look at and go, damn, if they're on, and I know if Melbourne look at that team like they did last year, they play them in the grand final, they'll be shitting themselves.
That's an intimidating team. For 1 to 17. 1 to 19, really.
They've got 20 players there that can fit into the 17.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of teams have regressed a little bit, and Melbourne just seems so far apart because they haven't changed a thing. They just stay there all the time. They're so consistent, model of consistency every single week. I think the Roosters have dropped off a little bit because they know they're going to get in the semi-finals. When the semi-finals come, they'll go to another level. And they've got the team, and I know Melbourne can go up a bit, but I know the Roosters can go up more and knock them off again. I'll be shitting myself if I was Melbourne, hoping they can get beat in the semi-finals. But I think they got. I mean, the Warriors played well last week, but I think Manly were a little bit off. It was a shitty Saturday night. I just wouldn't be worried about that one. But they have got plenty to play for because I think they're sitting about 9th or 10th. So who knows? Sharks and Dragons last game, Channel 9 game.
Local derby.
$3.20 the Dragons. Tarek Sims is out. Sharks $1.34. I think the Sharks got too much to play for, man.
It's their last stand, the Sharks. Like last week getting beat against Penrith, and the week before putting in that performance against South. It's like, Are you here just to make up the numbers, or do you just want to win this competition?
Yeah.
They've got the cattle. They've got a great side. Dragons, I don't know what's going wrong there. I mean, they still leaked 28 points last week.
Yeah, I know,
against the Titans.
Yeah, I just think
I don't know
they're
what
done.
it is. Who knows?
The Sharks should get there. They've got too much to play for. I think they've got Fafita out, maybe Pryor, but give Wade Graham back and get that combination out there. Give Murley ball. I think they'll change their whole game plan this week. Anyway, that sort of wraps it up. Anyway, quick little shout out for the Hall of Fame players: Danny Badiris, Craig Young, Stacey Jones, Ruben Wiki. Outstanding job. Well done, guys. So,
Craig Young
Hall of Fame,
me, doesn't he?
Hey,
Craig
Young, one of your best mates. But well done. It's a great honour and well deserved. Anyway, that's it from us. See you later.